Game 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Get loud for me.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or a 2 bird dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
If you think you or someone close to you is having a stroke, we have 2 words for you. Be fast. B for balance, E for eyes, F is in face, A for arms, S for speech, T for time to call 911. Look for changes in balance, vision, or speech, weakness in one arm, a drooping face. Learn the signs at wakemed.org/stroke, because every second counts.
Hey homeowners, this is Keith Gregory with Home Exteriors by Baker Roofing. We have a lot of new neighbors moving to our area, and as a company that was founded in Raleigh in 1915, we would like to formally welcome you home. Our history of excellence is best summed up in our commitment. We shall do good work, at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. To learn more about our roofing, siding, window, door, and gutter services, visit bakerroofing.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBrian.com. That's GotBrian.com.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Canes on the power play, looking for the equalizer. Set across on front, they get it, they score! Stephen Nason in his office in front of the net. Another power play goal, and the Canes have tied it at 2. Now the Islanders storming into the zone. Swooping it, tapped out in front by Palmieri. Now another save, Anderson, and another one on Fasching. Mr. Anderson. 2 big saves here to keep it tied and keep overtime going.
There was swooping. I heard that. Swooping.
Lots of swooping.
Oh, my gosh. Too much swooping.
So much swooping.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Adam Gold. This is the Adam Gold Show. Victoria is here. We got a lot of stuff. We have Game 5 on the brain tonight.
Hockey night in Carolina.
Oh, it is a hockey night in Carolina. We're going to talk about that. We're actually going to work in a little NBA playoffs because,
what?
Yeah, exactly. Not only did the Kevin Durant fizzle out of the playoffs again, LeBron James' Lakers lost another game that they could have won.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying they should have won, but they could have won it. They lost by 2 in Denver in a closeout game. So if you think about the way these games have been played, the Lakers have primarily played with the lead in their series against Denver, and they're out in 5. Now, playing with the lead doesn't matter because, in general, the better team will figure it out by the fourth quarter. There's almost no lead in the NBA that is safe from the better team, especially when it is significantly better. No lead is safe from the better team when you get to the fourth quarter. Unless your lead is like 25, yeah, if you go into the fourth quarter with a 10-point lead, like 2 minutes, that's gone.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm never completely bent out of shape by that. But, man, these losses have been excruciating. Basically got beat at the buzzer twice.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Murray hit the first one. The Lakers had the lead when he hit it. And in this one, it was a tie game when he hit it. It was a well-played series by L.A., but ultimately they fell. And then LeBron James refused to answer the question about his future with the Lakers.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, I'm not answering that.
Ooh.
I'm not going to be cryptic. He probably really doesn't know.
Yeah.
I think he will finish his career with the Lakers. It's my feeling.
I would guess
I
that.
think he's going to finish his career with the Lakers. The only thing that would get in the way of that is if his son does stay in the NBA draft and if LeBron wants to play a year with his son.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that would get in the way of it. And LeBron even was asked about his son, about what his plans are. And LeBron is like, it's his decision. He can do what he wants. Wants to start his pro career. He can start his pro career. Wants to go back and play in college somewhere else. Not going to stay at USC. Although you could always go back, I guess. I'm sure USC would take him. But he didn't play a ton last year. And the other thing about it was, based on everything, and I'm not even going to lie, I've been very transparent about this. I have not watched a single second of Bronny James play.
Same.
I've seen highlights of him in high school, but I have not watched a single second of Southern Cal basketball this year. And what I've read, though, was that he wasn't necessarily utilized like he should have been. That's not a failure of the coaching staff. They had multiple options at his position. So he was not necessarily, I think he's more of a point guard than anything else. But again, I don't know because I haven't watched. But we'll see what happens with Bronny. But I'm just guessing that LeBron will finish his career with the Lakers.
That would make sense.
I mean, it's where he lives now, right? It is about family.
Can't
but
think Lakers without LeBron without the Lakers.
He is very focused, however, on the Century Village Olympics that he and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant are all going to be a part of.
Oh.
For people who know what Century Village is, it's a retirement home in mostly in Florida.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. It's a retirement. My grandparents lived there until they both passed in their mid-90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard about some retirement homes.
I could have just gone with the Villages.
Yeah.
Which is in northern Florida.
Is that the one where they use the pineapples? Is that a thing?
Yeah. I mean, well, they've had issues at the Villages.
Oh, okay.
To be perfectly honest.
I don't know.
Google it on your own, kids.
Yeah, don't use a company computer.
They've had some issues at the Villages, but anyway. All right. Oh my gosh. All right, let's play. All right. Game 5. Just go right to Game 5.
Yeah.
I can't.
Game 5.
Let's do it differently from last year. All right, Game 5. Canes were here with a 3-1 series lead. Remember, they won the first 2 games on home ice. Lost Game 3, won Game 4, came here looking to close the series out. Lost Game 5 and had to get back on a plane. Let's not get on a plane.
Please and thank you.
Right? Let's not do that. So let's see if we can't finish this one tonight. I have no real concerns through 4 games of this series. The only thing that's bordering on a concern is I would love to see Carolina be a little bit more dangerous at 5-on-5, but having watched other series, you know what's interesting is that Carolina through 4 games, 5-on-5, the numbers look pretty similar to all the other series. In fact, probably better. My guess, though, is that for Carolina, a lot of it is skewed by game 2, where they dominated to a degree that we have not seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see them be a little bit more 5-on-5 ruthless, but they haven't yet been that. And they've only got 6 5-on-5 goals through 4 games. 4 goals have come on the power play. 1 came at 6-on-5. 2 came into an empty net.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to see Carolina be a little bit more dangerous at 5-on-5. But again, looking around the East, like, they're actually better than the Rangers at 5-on-5. The Rangers are, like Carolina has seemed at times, power play dependent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Rangers.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
Look, this series isn't the mismatch that we saw with New York and Washington. That was a mismatch.
Oh, big time.
Right. And the reason I say that, the East was in 4 different tiers this year. You had the true Stanley Cup contenders, the Hurricanes, the Rangers, Florida Panthers, though, to me, in no particular order, right? Those are the true Stanley Cup contenders. Then you had solid, good, but probably not going all the way. Mm-hmm. The more you see Boston, Boston has great goaltending and great defense, but top to bottom, not a great set of forwards. They're not awesome offensively. They do have 2 Hall of Famers in Marchand and Pasternak, so that's not to say that they can't beat you. But I look at them as in a little bit of a different place. Toronto is just, they're fried.
Yeah.
And
hanging on by a thread.
And no Austin Matthews tonight, it looks like.
They're done.
And Tampa's already out. And Tampa was obviously a flawed team. They got hot the last month and a half of the season and separated themselves from the wild card pack. There was a good long time this year where I wasn't sure they were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? And then the next group, there's a third tier, which is the Islanders only. And that is, good, solid, difficult team to play against. And for the most part, for the entire season, we're throwing points away.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of figured it out late and got in comfortably. And then there was the rest of the playoff mix. And frankly, Washington was the least bad of a 4-team group, which included Detroit, Pittsburgh, and the Devils. And miss me with your Pittsburgh fandom. Well, we would have done better against the Rangers and the Capitals. Yeah, maybe. But how about not crap all over the season?
Exactly.
And
then you'd be there.
Right. We don't have to worry about it. You were the best team of that group down the stretch, but you had the furthest to go.
Mm-hmm.
So stop that. Anyway, the East, as it turns out to me, the West was way more up in the air.
Oh yeah.
I'll get to the West and hockey in a minute. I want to go to some NBA stuff real quick, and then I'll get back to hockey. Lakers and Pelicans both boxed up and shipped into the offseason last night. New Orleans was swept out of the playoffs by Oklahoma City. I mean, the Thunder were the 1 seed in the playoffs, so shouldn't be that big a surprise that they ultimately swept their way through. New Orleans lost the last game of the regular season to the Lakers to fall into the play-in tournament, then lost again at home to the Lakers to fall into the 8th seed and draw Oklahoma City, and that was never going to end well for them. OKC is awesome. And they are young and they are hungry, and I do think they are going to give Denver a ton of problems, but the Nuggets are probably the best team in the West. Pels also had injury issues, while fading. Ingram was out. We saw them lose Zion during the playoffs. I don't think Zion played. So that's one. The Suns, who were bundled out on Sunday, they were a fantasy team from the get-go. fantasy sports does not work in real life. You just cannot throw, oh, look, he's great, slap them together and let him go.
Yeah, as much as people want that to work.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, all out. This is not, what I'm about to say is not a knock on Kevin Durant, okay? This is not a knock on a surefire Hall of Famer, easily a top 10 all-time guy, maybe a top 5 player of all time, Kevin Durant. I mean, honestly. But since leaving Golden State, it has not gone well. They tried to build a fantasy team in Brooklyn, the Dream Team, remember. It was Durant, and it was Kyrie, and it was Ben Simmons, and then it was James Harden, and then Harden wanted out, and then Kyrie and Durant went their own ways, separate ways. Kyrie to Dallas, Durant to Phoenix. And Durant was personally available for just 56% of the games in the 3 years he played. Remember, in the year that they ended in the bubble in Orlando, he sat out. He was already with Brooklyn and sat out. So I'm eliminating an entire season of games where they knew he wasn't available. They signed him anyway because he had the Achilles tear. So they signed him knowing he was going to sit out an entire year. He played in 56% of the available games. That's it.
It's not a lot.
No, not a lot. In those 3 years, they got bounced in the first round of the playoffs. His team once never made it past the second round. Of course, they would have made it past the second round if he had like a half a shoe size smaller. Remember, It was a three-pointer where his toe was on the line. If it's a three, it's over. I believe this is the way it worked, but it was a 2, so we had overtime, and they lost the game. Anyway, not a knock on Durant, but it just hasn't gone well, and part of it is trying to build the super team. And this one was really poorly constructed because it was kind of it was like a lot of same. It was a lot of shooting. That's fine.
Yeah.
You need shooting.
Needs to go in.
Well, no, they had a lot of making, too.
Yeah.
If you go back and you look at the Suns, they were constructed as a modern team with like 5 guys who shot a lot of threes, and the lowest shooting percentage was like 38%.
Okay.
Over the course of the regular season. No, it's like Durant, I think Booker and Beal were both over 40. So was Grayson Allen, who shot 46% from 3. Only Eric Gordon shot it less than 40%, I believe, from their core. Actually, Booker might have been a shade under 40. But even that, if you shoot better than 37% from three-point range, you're ahead.
It is.
You're ahead. Keep shooting. But they just didn't have a lot else. And they didn't have a ton of defense. And ultimately, they just weren't all that great for all of their talent. So it hasn't worked out well. It's probably going to get split up. But to be honest, I just don't know what you're going to get for Dupree. They're not going to trade Devin Booker.
No.
Devin Booker ain't going anywhere. He's the best they've got. I'm not sure what you can move Bradley Beal. Kevin Durant's got like $55 million a year left on a contract. On top of that, he has an option for another year at $60 million. And I don't know if Durant's going to want to stay in Phoenix or if he's going to accept the deal elsewhere. But Phoenix has 0 draft capital. None. 0. They gave away 4 first-round picks in all the trades. They also swapped picks in 4 of those drafts. So they're going to get the lesser of 2 picks in the first round. So it's not been good. It won't be good. Phoenix is in a little bit of a tough spot. And, man, your heart bleeds for Matt Ishbia, the new owner. Actually, it doesn't, but I felt like I was obligated to say that.
Yeah.
Even though tough it out, dude.
Yeah.
All right, now back to the beautiful game. No, not Champions League action, which tonight or today, Bayern and Real Madrid. Like, no joke. You can leave the Hurricanes thing up. I'm going to get back to hockey.
Right.
But this is the most played fixture in the history of Champions League soccer. This will be the 27th meeting between Bayern and Real, two of the storied European clubs. And it could not be closer, really. Bayern's won 11. There have been 3 draws. Real has won 12. And Real has won 16 Champions Leagues, and Bayern has won 6. So 6 is a lot, by the way. So this is a incredible semifinal matchup. Let me set that aside. And by the way, the wagering is relatively close for this too. All right, let's get to the playoffs last night. We saw Dallas draw even with Vegas, right? Dallas draws even with Vegas. They win it 4-2 last night. Interesting game. And the Stars are now even in the series going back. Home ice advantage has meant nothing. 0 in this series, which we experienced a lot last year. Remember, I mentioned this. Home teams were 19-31 in round 1 last year. 19-31 in round 1. We've had mostly home ice advantage hold in the first round, but not in Vegas, Dallas. And the Panthers eliminated the Tampa Bay Lightning. Do you have the John Cooper bit ready? All right, so if you watch the game, there were 2 goaltender interference calls that both worked against Tampa. The first was ruled a goal on the ice, but Anthony Duclair was ruled to have interfered with Sergei Bobrovsky. Incorrectly ruled, in my opinion. Not that my opinion matters. The second was waved off on the ice when, I believe it was Anthony Cirelli, was ruled to have interfered with Bobrovsky, which he didn't. He was, however, in the blue paint, but he didn't interfere with Bobrovsky. And so that goal, the call on the ice, which was no goal, Cooper had to challenge, and he lost the challenge, yada, yada, yada. Here's Cooper on those 2 particular plays, and I agree with every single thing he is saying here.
The words were, to pull a goal off the board, it has to be unbelievably egregious. That's a standard to pull a goal off the board. Well, the first one's on the board, and I couldn't find anything remotely egregious about that. You know, it's really tough. Like, Forsling is holding on. Like, it's a full penalty. He's holding on to Duclair. So he's trying to yank. He's trying to get his balance. It really does affect nothing. Bob misses the puck, and it's a net front battle, and it's in the net. Like, I can't. That's just the part for me. And then, so now we have to rebound from that. We do. And then the next one is a net front battle. And I will give the goalie credit. He quit on the play. He completely quit. Didn't see it, didn't whatever, and then flailed. And there was, maybe incidental contact at most. And then, but now we have to challenge it because they saw the reaction of the goaltender, and Bob's doing the right, he duped him, and so be it. But now we have to make that.
That's it. 100%. The first goal, Gustav Forsling has a hold of Anthony Duclair. Yeah, should have been a penalty. Should have been a penalty on Forsling. But they don't call that. Duclair trying to get free of Forsling probably does in some way interfere with Bobrovsky, but that's the fault of Forsling, not Duclair. And how that goal was given on the ice, was overturned, blows my mind. The second goal, which should have been allowed on the ice, but was not, waved off immediately. I'll give the referee credit. He waved it off immediately, but it shouldn't have been. They should have allowed the goal to stand and then simply go to video, which all goals like that are reviewed automatically, and not make Cooper challenge. Because of the fact that Anthony Cirelli did go into the blue on his own, even though he was sort of fighting his way in front of it, and I think by the time there was real contact, he was outside of the blue. Either way, the contact was not really caused by him. It was caused by Bobrovsky, who, as John Cooper said, quit on the play. He threw his stick down. He didn't get the stick knocked out of his hand.
No.
He just dropped it on the ice.
Yeah.
And then flailed. And he completely bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have entered into this realm where, because I think Bob flopped twice. And he got away with it twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that we get a Carolina-Florida rematch in the conference finals. I'm hoping we do. Because I will make this a narrative. Because it is clear that Bobrovsky quit on that second play. It is clear he flopped twice. It is clear the referees bought it. And what I don't get, I don't know why, nobody on TV talked about it.
No.
To me, the second one was more obvious than the first one, that he flopped. The second one was clear as day. And we've got Steve Levy, our old friend Kevin Weeks, Dave Jackson, who, my opinion, utterly useless in the booth.
Yeah.
He has never met a referee's call he didn't agree with. If he hems and haws, right, he probably didn't agree with it, but he won't say it.
Mm-hmm.
He adds no value to the broadcast at all, zero value. But nobody, whether it's on the broadcast or in the studio, nobody says anything. What are we doing?
Not one.
Like, even if you believe that the goal should not have counted, like, nobody sees the fact that Bobrovsky's stick was not knocked out of his hand, that he just willingly dropped it? Nobody? So, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if these guys are not allowed to say anything, but my gosh, I was embarrassed for the broadcast. Embarrassed for it last night. There's my...
and then it all goes back to, remember a week or so ago, you were like asking people, is reffing different in the playoffs?
Right.
Well.
And I'm going to ask former NHL referee Tim Peel that question again. I think I asked him that question a few weeks ago when we had him on last time.
Potentially.
And honestly, I'm going to hope that he saw the 2 goals last night, because I'm going to ask him about that. Because Forsling clearly is pulling Duclair, and Duclair is clearly trying to pull away, which is where the contact is created. Although I think that contact might have been outside. I don't know. It was probably inside the crease. But to me, that's not Duclair. That's Forsling. Anyway, there you go. Back to the Hurricanes. See, we have the Stanley Cup playoffs banner up and whatnot. Just to get back to the 5-on-5 thing for Carolina. So I think 2 things. One, what we haven't seen from the Aho, Gensel, Svechnikov line, having now been together for 2 games plus. Like 2 1/3 games. What we haven't seen is super dangerous 5-on-5 play. I really believe they've been good. And I will push back. I know we've talked to people who think that Aho hasn't been. The only game where I think the top line has not been really good is the last one. And part of that is Aho couldn't win a faceoff. He was 3 out of 18 in the faceoff circle. So that number must turn around. The Hurricanes' faceoff performance on Long Island was bad. So they've got to win more draws at home. It's important to Carolina. Again, how important? We had double overtime. Could have won the game. But they just need to be a little bit more offensively threatening than they have been. And that goes also throughout the lineup. And I think an interesting twist in the... we'll talk about this with Mike Maniscalco in a minute. But I thought an interesting twist to practice yesterday was the splitting up of Jordan Staal and Jordan Martinook. Staal is going to play between, I believe, Jarvis and Teravainen, and Necas, Drury, and Martinook will be a trio in tonight's game. So there are 2 things there. One, splitting up Staal and Martinook, and the other is Jack Drury goes from left wing 4th line to center, we'll just say 3rd line, because right now with Staal centering Jarvis and Teravainen, That line should score. Should score. And I would say that third line with Drury, Natchez, and Martinook, yeah, be dangerous. You're going to get a good matchup for yourself. Be dangerous. Top line's got to do their thing. All right, we'll take a break. Mike Maniscalco on the other side. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The Canes are back in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's Game 5.
They score! Sebastian Aho! And the roof's gone at PNC Arena.
Store watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7:30.
Jordan Martinook with the steal and the finish! And it's 4-3 Carolina! What a comeback!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's Adam from my friend Gordon Miller. Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. I've been telling you for a long time about Gordon Miller and Miller Lending and the fact that he invented the no closing cost mortgage back in 1987. I have been telling you this since 1999, and that was when I got my first mortgage at Miller Lending. Here's the thing. I didn't pay closing costs then. I have had 10 subsequent mortgages through Miller Lending, have never paid a dime in closing costs. It's about $50,000 in savings, and that money adds up. Closing cost adds up. All you're doing if you pay closing cost is lowering your monthly payment by about $50. So why would you care if it impedes you from refinancing when the rates come down? If you pay closing costs, you're banking on the rate staying where it is or going up within 8 years. That's it. It's never going to come down. Come on, it's an election year. They always come down. MillerLending.com, that's the website. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 2502146.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Shinecup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Adam Gold here for my friends at CertaPro Painters, the painting professionals. And let me tell you, that's something that I don't want to do in my own house. My wife likes it. I don't. These people love it. They are the professionals. You can also trust them to get the job done right and safely and quickly. And each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated, which means they live in our community. And you can schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
This is Adam Gold.
There are people out there that just, you must draft a quarterback.
Yeah, why you don't want a quarterback?
Yeah, exactly. What is wrong with you? Oh, you don't want apple pie?
Right.
Come on.
A la mode? No, maybe I like brownies, okay?
I don't want it there.
The temptation.
Yeah, I don't need it. Because I can convince myself, apple's healthy.
Right.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Just after 7:30 tonight, they will drop the puck right after they kick somebody out of the faceoff circle, because that's been the the order of the day in this first round series. Mike Maniscalco, the voice of your Carolina Hurricanes on Bally Sports. I hope. Look, isn't it weird? I hope this is the last game for you for the playoffs. That's kind of backhanded, isn't it?
I mean, on TV, we still
simulcast, yes.
So the radio call's there. So no, I'm not in disagreement with you. I'll take that. I'll take that as a compliment. We get to keep doing the games, and just for having this conversation, we've both been thrown out of the face-off circle tonight.
Holy cow!
It's been unbelievable.
So what do you make of that? Obviously, that has something to do with whatever the numbers were. It was under 25%.
Yeah,
in
86% win face-off win for the Islanders. So I mean that's unreal. So
I've never seen anything like that. What do you make of that? Because Carolina is a good face-off team.
I mean, I can read a lot of things into it because Carolina is such a good face-off team. So what comes with that, Adam, is if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Right.
So, linesmen, I'm sure, are briefed that the Canes like to do this in the face-off circle or like to do that. They're going to be ultra sensitive to the wingers crashing in because everybody thinks it's just the guy taking the draw who gets thrown out. But it's everything around it. If the wingers or the players around the face-off circle are jumping in, a guy will get thrown out early for that. But, I mean, there are times where, honestly, Adam, nothing's going on, and a player gets booted. And I'm trying to figure out, I don't know what he possibly could have done to get ejected from the face-off circle. So it's up to the linesman discretion what they want to do, and you just move on from there.
On the power play goal the Islanders scored, that was actually a face-off win for Jack Drury, but Anders Lee, knowing that Pierre Engvall was going to lose the face-off, Anders Lee intercepted the face-off win and got it right back to Noah Dobson. And then, it's quite possible that Pierre Engvall did nothing but interfere with Jack Drury, which prevented him from getting out to Noah Dobson. But I'll just leave it at that. Unfortunate set of circumstances. Carolina still got it into overtime. What Mike Maniscalco is joining us here. Through 4 games of this series, which has been relatively even except for Carolina's dominance in the back half, last half of Game 2. Where do you think Carolina's overall game can go to another level?
Where? In almost, and I hate to put it in these terms, but in almost every level. Although the funny thing is, Game 2, Adam, go back and watch Game 2 from start to finish, and blink when the Islanders score. And then look back up, and you would have thought that game should have been 7-0 Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, they were good from the opening face-off until the final whistle. Hockey can be funny where bounces or certain things don't go your way, and you can find yourself down on the scoreboard. But they were great. I go back to that game, and that was they did everything that they want to do. They can be, I think, a little bit more. What's the word that I'll use the word determined to get in front of Semyon Varlamov and take away his eyes. They can do a little bit more on that. Clearly starting with the puck in the face-off circle, but you and I just had a rather esoteric discussion about what's going on in the face-off circle, at least with Game 4. They could certainly be better there. I've liked them on special teams. There's not much that I would change on the special teams, except they've really gotten the opportunities. You cannot complain if you're a Hurricanes fan about power play chances in this series. The Canes have had the majority of them, and the funny thing is the percentages are the same, while the Canes have double the opportunities of the Islanders for this postseason when it comes to playoffs, when it comes to power plays and special teams. So I wouldn't change anything there. But it's honestly, you're just talking about little things. Rod's talked about it all during the season, taking a breath here and there. But you also have to remember the other team is going to take advantage of it when you get to the playoffs. The Islanders, for all of the things that we like to talk about that the Canes are so superior for, they have good players. And when a guy like Matt Barzal wakes up like he did in game number 4, you give him an inch, he's going to find a way to make you pay for it. So really it's just those moments where you get a little loose. You get a chance to clear a puck and you don't do it. That's really been the Canes' worst enemy in this series. And I mean, we're talking about, what can the Canes do better? They're still one win away from eliminating the Islanders in 5 games, which is pretty darn good if you ask me.
Yeah, in Game 3, the Islanders, I think it was the first goal. I mean, I thought Carolina did everything right. Tony DeAngelo won a defensive battle, had gotten the puck out of the zone, and I think it was Teuvo Teravainen who just didn't make a play on the puck, and it ends up coming right back in, and that cycled around, and it ended up being a goal. But going back to Game 2, I thought the Islanders played 9 good minutes and got 3 goals out of it. Like the last 5 minutes of the first period, of the second period, of the first into the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second, and it was 3-0. And from that point, before then, it was all Carolina, because it was at one point 11-0 in shots on goal. Simon Holmstrom got the first Islanders shot on goal in Game 2 with like 6.5 minutes left in the first period, and all of a sudden it's 3-0, and then Carolina just, I mean, it was like men versus boys the rest of the way.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, it was the varsity versus the JV the rest of the way in that game. And look, that's the weird thing about hockey, Adam. When we try to explain this to folks, like that 9 minutes, that can be the game.
Yep.
The amazing thing is what Carolina did for 51. As I go back to it, it should have been worse on the scoreboard.
Yep.
That's one of those games you look at. That's why I thought this series was probably going to be over in 4. Now I can do the revisionist history in hindsight being 2020. Game 1 was not the Canes' best game. They win it 3-1. And if you're the Islanders, you're sitting there going, we had to win that game.
Yep.
Game 2, you go up 3-0, but the Canes play their best game, and you're like, God, we can be up 3-0, and we can't beat their best game. So now it's 2-0. Then the Canes win, a pretty even Game 3. You knew the Islanders would push back. This would be everything that they have. But the Canes win Game 3 because they do all the little things that they need to do. Special teams go to the Carolina Hurricanes in that one. You're up 3-0. And then you survive the first 5-minute push in game number 4, and you get the first goal.
Right.
And that's where I'll give the Islanders credit. I thought that, that could be the, all right, guys, what time do our flights arrive in Cancun kind of game, the rest of the way for New York. They didn't. And, Patrick Waugh is not going to have them play that way. And Varlamov was really good. He was the difference maker as it goes into. There's one thing that I'm going to watch, and I don't know how big of a factor it'll be here tonight, Adam, in Game 5. But the Islanders really just ran their top 4 defensemen. And with the 2 days in between games, I don't know how big of a factor it will be here tonight. But you had the Islanders' top 4D over 30 minutes. Carolina's number 1 player with time on ice was Dmitry Orlov in game number 4. So, there's not going to be a tired legs conversation for, I think, the Hurricanes when they hit the ice tonight. And I think really tonight, Adam, comes down to if the Canes throw their game at the Islanders in the first period and say, this is how hard tonight's going to be, it's going to be really hard for the Islanders to find a way to win without getting the matchups that they want, even though Patrick Waugh is not a big matchup guy.
He said
he's
not.
Goes with the rhythm. He's really not, a couple of times you'd see him for face-offs. Here comes Pajot, here comes Horvat. But other than that, he has not been a matchup guy in this series.
Well, what's interesting is that he said that, but he was clearly targeting the Kokoniemi, Natchez, Teravainen trio. You're clearly targeting them, sending Barzal, Horvat, Cizikas over the boards for them. And Rod occasionally got Aho back out there, occasionally got Stahl back out there, but a lot of it was that matchup that he clearly did want. I think down the lineup he doesn't care, but he definitely wants to keep, because the 2 games on home ice here for the Hurricanes, Barzal, Horvat, and Cizikas did nothing.
Yeah.
They had 0 shots on goal, and Rod was sending Aho, Svechnikov, or at one point it was Aho, Jarvis, and Gensel out against them, and that line completely shut them down. Speaking of Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov, their line has been good with Gensel, right? But it has not scored a goal in two games and a period. But they've been good. All the underlying numbers are really good with that trio. What do you make of that? Has it been bad luck, or is that, as you said earlier, maybe a little bit more determination?
I think it might be a bounce here or there because that line, has been one where, people were kind of clamoring for it, and now that you got it, and it's been good. They've changed in a couple of these games. They've had a shift that changes the momentum or changes the tenor of it. But, you go back to it, and for me, it was that line actually, it was on a nice play by Jalen Chatfield. It was game 3. So they went an entire game without scoring a goal at him. Good God, we got to call for the investigation. But it's one of those lines where I think when they are on in what they're able to do and the way that Svechnikov with going back to the old school power forward in the space he can create for Aho and Gensel, you're sitting there going, why don't they score every shift they're on the ice when they make plays like that? I think that's going to be more. It was puck luck. That game, I'll go back to it in game number 2. The Canes hit 5 posts in that game, and there were 2 posts, or at least a post and a crossbar that was Sebastian Aho.
Yep.
And he stayed with it. So I think there's a little bit of that. And look, you go on the road, you go up 3-0. It's not one of these things where I'm saying that the Canes had counted the chickens before they hatched, but I think that you get into a sense of, we got this game, we've got a lead, we'll just keep doing what we're doing, and you don't expect the Islanders to have a push. And when you give a team like that life, they're going to find a way to cling to it in that building. Nobody wants to be swept in a playoff series, no matter what. You can look at the mountain they have to climb, and oh God, do we really got to play another game? Well, yeah, they want to play another game. That's what they get paid to do.
Didn't we all expect this series to be a long-ish one, 6 games? I mean, I did going in. I fully expected we were going to be here 7 games because the Islanders they're like a root canal. They're no matter who the coach is, they're just hard to play against.
Yeah, and coming into this, anybody who thought that this series would be a sweep, I'm like, what are you talking about? Have you watched what these series have been? Go back to last year, watch any of these playoff series. I mean, even the Rangers, when they dispatched Washington, it wasn't that easy. And they did that, and Ovechkin didn't show up for that no points. With you
Zero.
Look at it. So for me, I just think it honestly, Adam, it's the way this matchup is, and I hate saying this because it seems like I'm downplaying the Islanders. But if the Canes do what they're supposed to do, there was no way the Islanders would win the series, but they were going to win a game or 2 in this one. Now the question tonight, and this is the big thing for all playoff series, and I'll go back to what Justin Williams said years ago. When you play in a playoff series, it's all about leaning on your opposition and letting them know exactly how damn hard it's going to be to win the series. Well, I think that the Islanders understand that even when they get a win, they got to go to double overtime at home. They needed, a power play goal to get in there. They needed some crossbars to be hit. They needed an all-world performance by Semyon Varlamov, and that's just to get a game. So that's why tonight, if Carolina throws out, and I'll keep going back to it, if they throw out their game right from the start, it's going to be really hard for the Islanders to force this thing to go back to Long Island. Not impossible, but it'll be really hard.
I will see you on the 5th floor in just a few hours, Mike Maniscalco. I appreciate your time.
Anytime. I'll see you there, and then I'll see you the rest of the way through. I think we share a room once we get to double
at
up. At
least part of it. They kicked me out. They kicked me out for part of it, but that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. But
don't worry about it. I used to have an office, and now I don't even have a nameplate.
Wait, they took your nameplate down?
Well, I took my nameplate down.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
So I can't even call it because that's generally where I hung out. Now I can't even call it Maniscalco's office. I got to call it something else now. Man, I got to come up with another name. All right, sir. I'll see you later.
You got it, Adam. Bye-bye.
Take care. Mike Maniscalco here on the Adam Gold Show.
What a great person to share a space with, though.
Oh, we had fun.
Yeah.
Mike and Tripp. And when we get to the playoffs, I don't know, because Hannah's got baseball issues now. Because Hannah's also doing Braves games. For Bally's. So I don't know what, when TV stuff is over, does Hannah just gone?
I don't know. I'll just step in and pretend to be Hannah.
I'll just bother Shane.
I can call myself Vanna.
Like you're turning letters?
I know. Just pretend to be Hannah with a V.
What a great gig, though. Is that not the greatest job in the history of
Vanna
television?
White's?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
The history of television.
Oh, easy.
Might be the greatest job in the history of anything.
100% is.
Gosh.
I know.
I turn letters.
When she wanted a raise and almost didn't come back, I was like, I could pretend. My name starts with a V.
Boom. That's right. You do.
Yeah.
You can say, I'm Vinna.
There you go.
Whatever. One-timers is coming up. Q&A's, definitive questions and answers next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Have you ever had a mammogram?
I could never really afford one until now.
New job with benefits?
It's the same job with NC Medicaid.
I heard they're covering more people.
Well, you can earn more and still get NC Medicaid. Full coverage, low or no copays, prescriptions too.
Was it hard to enroll?
I went to the NC Medicaid website. Took a bit of time, but it's worth it.
Are you anxious about the test?
Not as much now that I have NC Medicaid.
See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games features 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Our public power providers in North Carolina keep the power on 99.9% of the time. That averages out to be less than 1 hour a year without power. Public power line workers who work day and night, rain or shine, are key to that unbeaten reliability. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Hi, Darcy the cow here for Black Cow, the mature manure. Get a better looking lawn with Black Cow. Apply to your lawn as top dressing and get 10 times more nutrients than topsoil. Black Cow will feed your lawn, your flower beds, and vegetable gardens for up to 3 months. Oh yeah, everything grows better with sun, water, and Black Cow.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Think earning a degree is out of reach? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, it's time to think again. Because the new Next NC Scholarship could cover all of your tuition and fees at any of the 58 NC community colleges. Or at least half, if not all of your tuition and fees at one of the 16 public universities across the state. The best part? It doesn't have to be repaid. See if the Next NC Scholarship could be the opportunity for you and how simple it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org. Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Agriculture drives our local economy. I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University, and we are looking for our next generation of leaders. If you want to make a difference and help feed the world, join us at the Ag Institute, where we grow successful graduates, productive futures, and rewarding lifestyles. We offer 2-year degrees and hundreds of internships. Learn more online by searching NC State Ag Institute. Deadline for fall enrollment is June 1st. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
Have you ever noticed how little things can make a big difference? Next time you see a man or woman in uniform, why not stop and thank them for their service to our country? And what about the nurse at the hospital or the cafeteria worker serving your plate? A smile and a word of thanks goes a long way. In North Carolina, we have always taken pride in being kind to everybody. Little things do make a difference. Makes you feel better. Makes everyone around you feel better.
This is Adam Gold.
I got news for you. If I see a hammerhead shark swimming near me in open water,
nope,
we're gone.
Bye.
We're done. I'll be on the dock.
I'm done. I've seen Jaws. You can't fool me.
Yeah, I'll be on the dock.
Yeah.
I'll be, or in the boat or something. I will not be.
Yeah.
I will not be in open water.
The Adam Gold Show.
Oh, we're doing this today.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Well, I mean, are we going to get like the real Rockies theme at some point?
I could do that.
Everybody's into this. I get it, right? This is Rocky 3, right? This is Eye of the Tiger Rocky 3?
Or Rocky 4. I don't know.
Okay, I'm not.
Potentially. I would be lying if I said that I've watched them all. So I have.
I've never seen Rocky 4.
Yes.
Okay, I've never seen Rocky 4. I know people love Rocky 4, but I stopped the Rocky movies after 3.
Yeah, I get that.
But
it's a lot.
Well, I get it. I mean, they're popular movies.
Yeah.
Right? So if people are going to see it, why do we think how many Fast and Furious do we have?
Like a bajillion. There's probably 58.
The official answer is way too many.
There may actually be like 8.
I saw one of them.
Yeah.
The one with Rock and Vin Diesel. I saw that one.
I've seen a few. I want to say I ended it with Tokyo Drift. I think that was maybe my last one. It was a good one. I mean, I didn't mind it, but that was also like 2009.
That sounds like a condition.
Oh, I got the Tokyo Drift.
He's
again.
out. Austin Matthews will miss tonight's Maple Leafs Bruins game because of the Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. Let's do one-timers.
It should be. That should be a thing. I'll go with it. I'm going to use it again. Maybe. We'll see. So, okay. Now, let's see. Which one? This is all hockey related, so I've got quite a few. So, how much life do you think Game 4 gave the Islanders going into tonight's game?
Phrase that again? I'm sorry.
So how much life do you think the win that Islanders got in Game 4 will give them life?
If I'm the Islanders, there have been 3 games that I could have won, and I won one of them, and one game that I got dominated that I had a 3-0 lead. So I think the Islanders probably believe that they can go into this game, no matter how it goes, and win. But what we haven't seen yet is Carolina play really what looks like their game from the start. I thought Game 2 looked good early, but really wasn't offensively dangerous. Carolina didn't get to the high danger part of their tour until after the Islanders had made it 3-0.
Yeah.
So at that point, it was crazy. But if you're the Islanders, I think you feel good about where you are in the series based on how the games have been played. You're just not as good, so you need to do a little bit more. I thought the Islanders' best game was clearly Game 4, but I also think they were good in Game 3 and could have easily won that one.
Yeah. Okay, well, moving on. Now, because the Rangers have wrapped up their series and the Panthers have wrapped up their series, does that put any more pressure in your mind potentially on the Canes to end this tonight so they're not dragging it out?
Look, the pressure is we don't want to get on a plane and go play another game that we don't have to play on Long Island. I'm not sure that's the great motivation. But we're going to be sitting around. If it ends tonight, I think we're sitting around until we've got, 2 more series that have to end, or 1 more series? What is
definitely have the Leafs.
No, 2. We have to wait for Boston and Toronto. They also play tonight. That series could end in Toronto and no Austin Matthews, but I think we're going to have to wait until most of the West is done too. My anticipation is sometime this weekend, the Hurricanes and Rangers will start a series if Carolina wins tonight. If the series doesn't end until Thursday, I think we're looking at maybe early part of next week.
Yeah.
Just a guess.
Wow. Who
And
knows?
Carolina will start on the road for the first time since 2019.
This is true. I know.
Yeah.
It's new times. And probably last but not least, different hockey question. The Florida Panthers got their first playoff win against their hometown rival, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Steven Stamkos may have played his last game as a Lightning, and he stayed on the ice with his dudes. It was awesome. You got to respect Stamkos. So, what has he meant to the league? That kind of player.
The league or the Lightning? Well, I'll just say to the league, he has been the face of a new franchise that is an elite franchise.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, with an incredible offer. You sign up right now and make your first $5 wager, let's just say Bayern Munich over Real Madrid. Bayern's a slight favorite, plus 120. That's how the favorites work in European football. The most played match in Champions League history with these two storied clubs. Win or lose the bet, you get $200 in bonus bets. That's right, guaranteed. $200 in bonus bets because you know me. FanDuel.com, promo code AdamGold. FanDuel.com, promo code AdamGold. $5 wager, you get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed, and that's what makes FanDuel America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only, $10 deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Autoville Car Wash has been trusted for 55 years for high-quality service. We'll clean your car from the inside out. Now through June 2nd, buy 2 Super Poly Process Wash tickets at any Autoville for just $55.
People can tell when you Auto Bell.
Attention soccer fans, North Carolina FC invites you to be part of the excitement. Join us in our electrifying games with top-tier players, thrilling goals, and unforgettable moments. Experience the thrill of this beautiful game with North Carolina FC. Get your tickets now, northcarolinafc.com.
April is here. Time to call Window Nation. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. Plus, save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. Don't miss out. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
It's time to shop sparkling deals. It's Bailey's Fine Jewelry's multi-million-dollar inventory reduction sale.
Going on now.
Shop jewelry up to 60% off. Diamonds, watches, earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and rings are all on sale. The perfect time to shop for Mother's Day, anniversary, or engagement rings without breaking the bank. Shop the largest selection of luxury jewelry for less at Bailey's Big Sale. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBrian.com. That's GotBrian.com.
He scores!
WCMC Holly Springs. The Canes light the lamp. Here, 99.9 The Fan.
This is the Adam Gold Show.
He'll be settled down, looking for a deflection out front. They score! Stephen Nason with the net front, bangs it home, and Carolina goes up 2-1. Canes on the power play, looking for the equalizer. Set across on front, they get it, they score! Stephen Nason in his office in front of the net. Another power play goal, and the Canes have tied it at 2.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am him. Busy hour. Will Brinson will join us in about 20 minutes. We'll talk a little bit of post-NFL draft redo, all of that. Was going through all the stuff that Joe Person from The Athletic has written about Carolina. And I think he, like me, is a little bit baffled why they did not really attack cornerback, because right now on the depth chart, there is a zero, a blank, by the other outside cornerback. Like, they don't have one. Now, they do believe that they could get something done with Stephon Gilmore, who is still really good in spite of his advanced age, but they're not, like, that hasn't happened yet. And going into a season with an older Stephon Gilmore, who again is still really good, and J.C. Horn, who has not even come close to playing a full season, that is precarious. So, defensive tackle and cornerback were two areas that I thought they should have addressed that they didn't, but we'll talk to Will Brinson about that and some other matters. And something I brought up yesterday, a bigger picture, how the NFL is just kind of sliding into 18 games. We're going to go to 18. We don't have to worry about that. It would be like the NBA deciding that, you know what, we want to play 90 games during the course of the regular season. My man, Brendan Whitted, at HU Cosell on Twitter, one of our Mr. Basketball triumvirates here on the Adam Gold Show, joins us. All right, sir, let's start with LeBron and the Lakers, who got, beat in 5, could have easily won 2 of the games that they lost, but didn't. And I don't think it's a fluke that they lost them. Denver's clearly better, but Jamal Murray had to hit 2 game winners to beat him. And LeBron James would not answer the question, politely said, I'm not answering that, about his future with the Lakers. Where is that team?
Well, yeah, obviously it matters what he's going to do. So he's going to opt out of his player option. He's got a player option that can pick up for $50 million
right
next year. Yeah, it's just something light. But he has the opportunity to sign an extension with Los Angeles for 3 years. I think at about $160, $165, at least at current cap projections. That whole team depends upon him doing that because that's a top-loaded team. They're still on the hook for AD for a little bit, but they're not paying that many guys that much money moving forward. And they did that intentionally, 1, because they weren't sure about LeBron's future, and 2, because if it didn't work, they didn't want to be saddled. I think they're paying Reeves, they're paying AD, and maybe one other contract of significance. But they want to be able to have the versatility of, hey, what are we going to be able to do to put around LeBron to entice him to do it, or if he seems to be giving off airs that he's not going to come back, to be able to do a full strip-down rebuild and to continue on and to not have these kind of dark days in L.A. because the Lakers being the prominent franchise that they are, they don't want to have to deal with that.
Right. So LeBron after the game was talking about all of these injuries that they suffered this year. And then I look and man, you and AD basically played the entire season. Austin Reeves played basically the entire season. D'Angelo Russell, played basically the entire season. The guys that they missed, Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, are these really difference makers to the point where they would go from play-in to maybe, 4th or 5th in the West? Because I just don't see injuries as the reason why the Lakers bowed out in the conference quarterfinals.
You can do it this way. You can make a correlation between, if they have Cam Reddish, who I thought was really had found a place finally after bouncing around. He was in Atlanta, it was in New York. Maybe had found a place in a niche where he'd be able to thrive and do what he does best. Just couldn't stay healthy. Gabe Vincent also. That was a pickup for them. Not a huge acquisition, but a guy, a point-of-attack defender and a catch-and-shoot guy to play alongside LeBron and AD to give them space and to let them work. That was important, too. You mentioned Vanderbilt. They just couldn't get it from the rest of the guys. I thought D'Angelo Russell played a really good series. I'm not a big Russell fan, but I thought he played pretty well and shot the ball pretty well after having some kind of dry spots throughout the season. They just couldn't. It was too much for them.
Right.
And so, but the correlation would be if they didn't have to play the Nuggets this round, could they have played them later on? Because keep in mind, even in just a 5-game series, there, Contavious Caldwell-Pope has some ankle or lower body injury. Reggie Jackson and obviously Jamal Murray. So if they face them a hobbled unit for a full series next round, let's say, and they actually had those contributors from those other guys, can they beat that team? As you mentioned, they were up, 4 out of the 5 games at halftime.
They had the lead for, the Nuggets only led in the series for, not as much as the Lakers did, but the Lakers had the lead 80% of the series.
Yeah, and it was insane, but, they just couldn't finish these games. And I think that's the disheartening part if you're a Lakers fan. The whole thing was, hey, if we can keep it close and get to those crunch time minutes, we can win these ball games because our 2 are better than your 2. That's at least if you're a Lakers fan, that's what you have to be thinking. They just couldn't do it. You mentioned the Jamal Murray shots. Michael Porter Jr., man, look, that dude has 1,000 things going on off the court with his family, and not just Jonte, but his other brother who was sentenced for vehicular manslaughter, literally 2 weeks ago, and he is playing outside of his mind right now. So kudos for him for being able to just keep that sort of focus and keeping basketball on the court. But they just Aaron Gordon, their 4 were just better than whoever the Lakers are going to roll out there, and it's hard for me to see another team, perhaps outside of Dallas, beating the Nuggets.
Yeah, I'm going to throw. First of all, I love Oklahoma City. So I'm going to and Minnesota obviously played well to do what they did to Phoenix, and that's where we're going next. It did not work according to Hoyle in the Valley of the Sun, the Dream Team West, or whatever you want to call it, with Durant and Booker and Bradley Beal. Was that just ill-suited to begin with, or was there some other reason Phoenix got swept by Minnesota? And really only one game was tight.
Yeah, that was a poorly constructed team. And, that was kind of the thing when everybody looked at those 3 guys. Those are ball-dominant guys, but not just that it was going to be hard for them to find individual roles within that. But it was also, what else are you getting from everybody else, right? And that was the other thing. They didn't get much from their bench. Grayson Allen had a good season, got an extension off of it, good for him. But there just wasn't a lot of other things going on that team. And so you take that, you take Bradley Beal, who has the injury history, right? These are unknown things that they kind of walked into, Bill's been healthy his whole career. No, this is a guy who has frequently finished the season on the injured list, just couldn't get on the court. And so they tried to shoehorn him in late in the season, and it just didn't work. And it looked really, really bad towards the end of that season towards the end of that the playoffs, because Minnesota's playing so well, and you have that almost literal passing of the torch when you see Anthony Edwards and you see him, the chuckles with KD is that was me 10 years ago, right? That was when I was wearing the OKC uniform. That's what I was doing to these old heads,
right?
And he couldn't do anything but laugh to be he's not. Edwards isn't even next up anymore. He's right now.
Yeah, he is.
And that was they ran into a buzzsaw, but they weren't. This team as constructed was just it was a mess on paper, and it showed on the court.
I'd be interested to see what happens, because they're in a very similar position to what Brooklyn was in when Brooklyn went out and kept trying to create a dream team of their own.
Yeah,
where they have no draft capital. They gave away 4 first-rounders, and they have 4 first-round swaps, and the wrong side of that. So their next 8 years, they only get 4 first-round picks, and those are going to be the lesser of 2, unless both, I guess, are in the lottery. Who knows? It's just
the thinking is that also that Beal has a no-trade clause, and he's got one of. Now you're looking at that contract. Now he's got a couple years left, and it's man, that's a big number, and who's going to want to trade for him?
Right.
And he's got a no-trade clause. It looks like if they're going to make some sort of drastic decision about that franchise, Booker, KD are going to have to be on the table. That's hard to imagine, but it's their quickest way out of the quagmire they're in currently.
Yeah, Devin Booker will certainly get you a couple of first-round picks. At this point, at age 36, I'm not sure Kevin Durant's going to get you everything you want, but who knows? Maybe Kevin Durant's the final piece for, I don't know, Golden State. Never mind. We're not going to talk about that. Meanwhile, Steph, LeBron, and KD can all look forward to the Century Village Olympics this summer. for USA basketball, the old age home, going to the Olympic Games. I can't. What else would you call it? I was surprised that all three are on it.
Yeah, I was surprised, and then I'm also interested to see if Embiid actually plays. Right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
well, he's hurt, and now he's got a migraine.
He has every ailment you can have while still playing reasonably well. Like the injuries this year, and now I feel like a broken record because I feel like I do this every year, but it really does feel like this is the worst year because it's not just guys, it's superstars.
Yeah.
Zion, Embiid, Jimmy Butler, Damian Lillard, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like,
right.
I don't know what's going on, but it just does feel like we are getting robbed of some of the stuff because I wanted to see the Pelicans at least just a little bit more, right? Like, I mean, I didn't think that they were going to beat OKC. They made a couple of these games close, but Zion would have made that a far more interesting series.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't have it. They didn't have the ceiling of OKC in those games because SGA could always just turn it on and go supernova at any moment.
Can I make a deal that if Oklahoma City gets eliminated from the playoffs, that whatever commercial goes away with SGA and Chet Holmgren?
Chet Holmgren.
Can we get rid of that commercial?
You don't like it, man? I think
no, it's terrible. It's an awful commercial. It's an awful. It's a terrible commercial. I like both of those players individually, but that commercial, I don't know, disturbs me. Well, we don't have to talk about it. We'll move on. The Knicks and the Sixers are playing an old school series, I think. We're seeing Embiid just kind of fight through it. Very Willis Reed-like, one leg it seems, managing to keep his team in games. But he hasn't been great in the fourth quarter because I think he's just worn out from carrying his team throughout. And to be honest, I can't recall a player not named Jalen Brunson doing anything for the Knicks aside from an occasional play from Dante DiVincenzo or Josh Hart. So Villanova is beating Philadelphia, which is interesting, in that series 3-1. That series could end tonight, but Embiid has a migraine. What has stuck out to you about that matchup?
Oh, man, it's hard not to just look at Brunson and think how, at least for me, how wrong I was about him and in terms of what his ceiling was.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like he goes for 47 and 10 assists. I understand he had 34 shots, but that was, as you mentioned, when you say old school 90s basketball, what you're talking about is ugly basketball where no one can make a shot.
Terrible.
Like that's a very kind way of saying, oh, this game has a nice personality, right? Like, cool.
Yeah.
But
wow.
But that's what this series has been. It has been a lot of half court. You're not going to attack and transition that much. There's a lot of half court games, and I really do appreciate though the fact that the Knicks. They're the best Knicks team I've seen in the last 20 years or whatever it was. It wasn't because they got LeBron or KD or whomever superstar they were wishing upon a star to get in the offseason. It was Jalen Brunson. It's a trade for OG Anunoby. It's Hartenstein. Like, these are the guys that are making the difference for them, and that has to do nothing but with front office stuff. Because when they first signed that deal with Brunson, a lot of people, myself included, thought that they overpaid, and it looks like one of the best bargains in the sport.
Who knew? I mean, he was good in Dallas, right? He was a good second guy in Dallas, but he is a better first option with the Knicks. I am blown away by how good, and he is exactly the type of player that New York fans like because he works his rear end off. And I love his Villanova guys. Like, it's hysterical that team. Where's Chris Jenkins?
And he's oh my gosh, I hate him so much. To this day, I still hate him. That's never going anywhere. On my deathbed, I'll be cursing that man.
I apologize for that.
But they're also doing this without Julius Randle, and I understand that Knicks fans feel different ways about him, but he would at least make them a better, a more talented team. This is really just impressive work. Shout out to Tibbs, by the way. I mean, I know he'll play players to death, but he's able to get them on one accord, and particularly defensively. Like, he's done a masterful job this year.
Brendan Whitted at HU Cosell on Twitter. Bison Express, all your Howard University stuff, but one of our Mr. Basketball whatever I just said. All right, man. I'll talk to you very soon. Playoffs are hot and heavy. We got playoffs on ice, playoffs on wood. It's all good. Thanks, man.
Absolutely, man. I love it.
You got it. Brendan Whitted here on the Adam Gold Show. When we come back, a little bit post-draft, looking at not just the Panthers, but maybe even the rest of the division, and what did they do in Atlanta? Next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, I'm Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan.
And I'm Brian Murphy from WRAL News. Sports betting is finally legal in North Carolina. Getting to this point, in this state, wasn't easy.
How it happened is a backstory worth telling, and that's what we're going to do in a new season of our podcast, A Brief History of Triangle Sports. The podcast is out now.
Follow A Brief History of Triangle Sports on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube.
You know, maybe our Carolina Hurricanes really just wanted to give us another opportunity to make some wagers against the Islanders before, moving things along. Hey, it's Victoria Vodenecker here for BetMGM, and yeah, the Canes are back at home for Game 5 against the Islanders, and this could be your second chance to try those predictions that maybe you didn't make in the last few games. And right now, BetMGM is trying to take some of the sweat off of these bets by offering $150 in bonus bets just by making your first $5 wager and using code VICTORIA150. So whether you win or lose that bet, one-timer, slam dunk, KO, or whatever your sport is, you can still get $150 in bonus bets. Plus, when using the BetMGM app, you're going to have options like same-game parlays, live bets, prop bets, fun daily promotions, and so much more. So for $5, you'll get $150 in bonus bets to experiment with using code VICTORIA150. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus, only North Carolina only. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Want to win a trip to the 84th Annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and a custom Harley-Davidson performance bagger? The Law Tigers are giving away the ultimate trip of a lifetime. Go to stylininSturgis.com to enter. Prizes include VIP stay at Glencoe Camping Resort, custom Harley-Davidson built by Lane Splitter Garage, sound system by Rockford Fosgate, turbo from Trask Performance, parts from J&P Cycles, firearms from Magnum Research, jewelry from Anvil's Cash, and bikes from Soul E-Bikes. Go to stylininSturgis.com to enter today.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Adam Gold here from my friend Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK, the Triangle's only LASIK specialist who can take you to 20/20 vision, and it's more affordable than you think. 0% financing for 24 months is available. And in the spring, giving you $1,000 off. That's right, $1,000 off in the spring. All you got to do is call 919-510-6830, 919-510-6830. Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
This is Adam Gold.
Please let the coach and GM pick this year.
Right.
And they put this on the sign outside of the restaurant, and I guess David Tepper actually went inside this restaurant.
Do you know that there is security video of that visit?
Wow.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. So the NFL draft is well over, still kind of piecing through and digesting what the Panthers did and some other teams, including one in their own division. So to talk about all of that with us, well, not all of it. We don't have that much time. Will Brinson, not yet. No, Will yet. Will be here soon. Sorry about getting everybody's hopes
You're
up.
just teasing.
My gosh, get my own hopes up.
You should be
and,
soon, hopefully.
Not there yet. And I was going through Joe Person from The Athletic. I was going through like a bunch of stuff that he wrote after the draft. And a piece, if you're a subscriber to The Athletic, then you know Joe's work and you probably read it. We talked to Joe a fair amount. I'm going to try to get him on this week. But one of the things I thought that was really helpful was his breakdown of the depth chart going into the draft and coming out of the draft. And there were two things, or maybe three things that jumped out. The first thing that jumped out to me is, and I said it before the draft, I thought wide receiver, cornerback were vital needs for this team. And wide receiver they addressed with Xavier Legette. Cornerback, they didn't until we were like in the 5th round, and they got a good slot corner, right? The kid from, I believe it's Washington State, but they still don't have an outside corner now. Maybe they'll deal with that with Stephon Gilmore, who apparently is neighbors of Dan Morgan, like on the same street neighbors. So that would be great if that works out. All right, so let's just say Gilmore will be there. But now you are relying on your outside corners being a guy in his 30s and J.C. Horn, whose body probably feels like a guy in his 30s, considering he has been hurt for all 3 years he has been with the Panthers. They've already picked up the 5th-year option, so they have seen enough to know that he is their guy going forward. But he has to be available to be their guy going forward. And if he's not, if year 4 plays out like years 1, 2, and 3, where does this leave the team defensively? You can't be a good defense. No chance to be a good defense, no matter how good you are at every other position, without good cornerbacks. Can't do it. On top of the fact that I think the Panthers' pass rush is probably pretty suspect, and they didn't really address that with a pick on the defensive line with somebody who could really clog the middle. Now I understand you've got 3 starters that you like, but you still need depth, and you've only got 3. So there's just too many holes. You can't. Dan Morgan said it. You can't plug all the holes. But there were needs that should have been addressed. And if you didn't, like where the Panthers traded up to get Jonathan Brooks from Texas, the running back, who is thought to be the best running back in the class.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Okay. All right. I'm not even going to question that, but I would simply offer this counter argument. We think that now, but would you like to wager that there won't be 3 other running backs that come out of this class that look like really good running backs?
Very likely.
Because it happens every year.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the position is weird. So that, not addressing cornerback, not adding to the offensive line, right now there's no real backup, no quality backup to Austin Corbett at center, and he's being moved to center. The thought is that Brady Christensen is going to be the floater, just going to go all over the place. He's going to be the backup center. He's the backup left tackle, the backup right tackle. Like, that's a lot. They could have drafted a center. He was there when they picked at 46. Zach Frazier, the guy that eventually went to the Steelers. So they could have done that. And they could have drafted another wide receiver, and they didn't do that either. So there were some needs that I thought that they could have addressed. Again, as Julian Council told us yesterday, you can't grade it. I'm not trying to grade this, but I thought there were opportunities to address obvious needs that the Panthers didn't do. We'll get back to that with Will Brinson, who joins us on the Adam Gold Show, Pick Six podcast moderator, CBSSports.com, senior NFL writer. I wanted to get to the Atlanta Falcons, and here's my dilemma. A, I love Michael Penix. I think he's going to be a very good quarterback in the NFL. B, I don't really like Kirk Cousins, never have, but I recognize that he is certainly a good regular season quarterback. And I like the idea of what Atlanta did more than I liked when they did it. But man, when you're passing up great defensive players and that's what your top need is, that just seemed awfully strange to me. How did it sit with Will Brinson?
Yeah, I mean, you can make the case both ways, I think, Adam, because if you want to make the case that the Falcons should have taken a defensive player, it's easy. It's like you just signed Kirk Cousins to a $180 million deal. $100 million of that is fully guaranteed.
Right.
He's going to be there for 2 years minimum. You're trying to win now with the quarterback that you have there. And Michael Penix, 8th overall, extremely rich cost for anybody, much less it's an 8th overall pick. Like it's a really high pick, and it's a guy too, I think, where conventional wisdom and sort of the thought process we have for where guys were going to be drafted didn't have Michael Penix. It was outside the box, right? Penix at 8 is like, whoa,
yeah,
by itself in a vacuum, I think, going into this draft. Just like Bo Nix at 12 for the Broncos, who need a quarterback, is like, whoa, okay. Even J.J. McCarthy, to me, at 11, for a team like the Vikings that need, or 10, teams like the Vikings that need a quarterback. So it's easy to make all those cases. I think you can make it the other way too, though, and the Falcons have been doing a pretty good job pulling the PR out for this.
Right.
Where it's like, all right, like Cousins is a 36-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles injury. If he were to get hurt again, re-injure the Achilles, you have a backup option in Michael Penix, who's, quote unquote college veteran, right? Who's been around so long. He's attempted 1,600 passes. The other case too is Alex Smith on the Chiefs. They draft Patrick Mahomes in the top 10 pick. They didn't need to. They were winning a lot of games with Alex Smith. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Jordan Love. It's like using these picks from these guys in ways that were, it was like unconventional. And at the time, it's like, dude, Jordan Love's the worst pick ever. And now it's like, oh, Jordan Love's pretty good pick.
Yeah.
And so, like, you can make that case. It's weird, though, because Cousins just signed with Atlanta. And it's not like he's been with the franchise for 5 years or whatever. But I can kind of come around the idea of the Penix thing mostly through the lens that we like to operate with, which is find your franchise quarterback no matter the cost. Like, it doesn't matter what it costs you as long as you find the guy. And if Penix is the guy, Cousins is probably there 2 years now, unless he plays really well. By the way, Rivers and Breeze is another good example of this too, where they, like in San Diego at the time, where they drafted Rivers with the top 10 pick because they weren't 100% convinced that Breeze could be the guy. Again, different situations, but that's sort of the logic, right? It's like if you get yourself a franchise quarterback at number 8 overall, it doesn't matter that you have Kirk Cousins there. Worst case scenario, he's going to play. Cousins plays great for 2 years and Penix sits.
Well, you're 100% right. It's funny. It also gives you not bargain basement, but I mean rookie. The rookie salary, backup quarterback money, so you're not spending X amount of millions of dollars on a backup quarterback. I like the move because I like Penix, right? But could Atlanta have traded back? As it turns out, maybe not, right? They certainly couldn't have traded back beyond 12 because the Raiders, all the rumors were that they loved Penix. But they could have traded back and maybe made that whole thing look better. But I'm not arguing. They've got skill position guys. I think Cousins will be good for them. But I also appreciate the drama that it all caused.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best part about it. The Panthers have, ended up having a first-round pick because they acquired one. But, we think about it like that. We open it, every time I come on here, we open up talking about the Panthers because, freaking North Carolina, right? But it's this Penix Falcons thing was such a big deal. I mean, it really, if not for, I think you look at it two different ways. One, it's like, man, the Broncos and Bo Nix are like, thank you, Atlanta, for no one scrutinizing the fact that we took Bo Nix at 13.
Right.
Or 12, or whatever. It was 12, sorry. No one's talking about that because they're too busy talking about the Penix thing, right? I mean, Bo Nix at 12, Sean Payton bragging that he tricked Minnesota into trading up on spot. It's like, what the hell is going on here? And then, it comes out Albert Breer's column yesterday, and it's like, and then they asked, and then Sean Payton asked Bo Nix what's in his backpack. He's like, tape for my ankle. And it's like, but it wasn't so much about what was in his backpack, but what wasn't in his backpack. All football stuff. It's like, what do you mean? Is there a juicy fruit there? What do we think exactly was going to be in Bo Nix's backpack at a football workout? Oddly enough, Sean Payton is the guy who's walking around the owners' meetings one year with a contract. Cool.
What is happening to Will Brinson here?
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes, we
I walked away from my phone. I have my AirPods in.
It's good.
He got really excited.
All of a sudden, Will was like it was possessed.
I was stomping up and down the hallway, yelling about Sean Payton. Sean Payton one time at the owners' meeting had a contract in his briefcase, and he kept telling everybody about it. All the reporters, he's like, everybody's like, so are you worried about your job security? Going 7-9, 3 straight years. 2017, I think. It's like going 7-9, 3 straight years. He's like, I have a contract in my briefcase right now. He's like, you may pull it out. You will see it. You want to see it? Like, no, nobody wants to see it. What are you going to analyze his contract?
Yes, I think we should. All right, let me get to really quick back to the Panthers. You and I have talked about this offline. To me, you never want to draft for need, but man, it sort of looked like need and value matched, kind of mirrored up when they traded back to 46. There were both cornerbacks, or actually all four of them, right? Were there, or even at 39, maybe it was. They could have.
They were at 39 and traded to 52. And got a second-round pick from the Rams, which is a really good trade.
Tremendous trade.
They didn't have a second-round pick next year. The Rams are probably going to be pretty good. I mean, they did have a good draft and, had a good season last year. But certainly, Matthew Stafford can get hurt and they have a down year. But then they moved back up to – I think I even tweeted, good move overall at the time. You only drop 7 spots and you get a second-round pick. But actually, if you do the math on what they gave up to move back up and grab a running – it's to grab a running back of all things.
Right.
Look, Jonathan Brooks, best running back in the class. That's all well and good. They used this draft to it was blatantly like, all right, we only got so many resources to put stuff around Bryce, and we got to do it ASAP. And they did that, and credit to them. You hope that Brooks comes in, he's a bell cow. You hope that Xavier Legette is a number one out of the box. It's tough ask, but you never know. And I understand what they did. I think they would have been better off sitting back at 52, get as many picks as you can. You can't. This isn't an overnight fixture, right? I mean, this is a 2-year deal at minimum, and so just grab as many picks as you can. That's why I hate trading up from 33 to 32. By the way, it's arguably the worst trade you can possibly make in terms of anything. It's arguably the worst trade you can make in the draft.
Well,
you're moving up one spot, you lose all the leverage of the overnight possibilities of trading out of 33.
Right.
There were clearly teams who wanted to come up to 33, and you could have just said, all right, it's the Bills are on the clock. They're at because the Bills traded back to the Chiefs. They're at 32. We're at 33. we're going to either get Xavier Legette or Keon Coleman. And we're not going to let you play chicken with us and give up draft picks when we're already like short the most expensive from a draft capital perspective pick in the entire class.
All right, here's the thing. They clearly wanted Xavier Legette over Keon Coleman. Like the argument to move up is the cost certainty, and you and I have already talked about this, is the cost certainty of having the fifth-year option, and smart organizations will sign that if they determine that he is the guy, that after year 3, they'll sign the contract extension, so they'll incorporate year 4 and year 5 into that extension, so it lowers the cap. So there is an economic benefit to doing what they did. But I agree with you on the whole in that trading up is never a good thing, and they did it twice. Trading up for a running back is also never a good thing, and they did that because even though Jonathan Brooks is the best back in this class by most people's estimation, what are the odds that there won't be like 3 other really good running backs out of this class that were drafted in round 4, 5, 6? Because it happens all the time. And the last thing on the list of things that they needed, running back was like 6. Not that they didn't need one, they need so many things, but cornerback, wide receiver, cornerback, wide receiver again, offensive line, tight end, defensive tackle. These were all more glaring needs, and they left good players on the board. That was my ultimate problem with what they did. But if Brooks is the guy, then I totally get it. Also, I didn't get taking a lesser linebacker than Peyton Wilson, 20 spots before Peyton Wilson.
If you're gonna step in, Dave Tepper, if you're gonna step in and force feed a draft pick on your front office, do it with the guy who will sell like 10,000 jerseys to Wolfpack fans who are just like rabid right now.
Right.
Like a basket, like you're like I mean, like, fresh off a Final Four run, and like a really good close to the season for the football team. It's like,
right,
man. If you draft Peyton Wilson, you will sell like he's probably only going to play one. You're only going to get one contract out of him.
Yeah,
and you'll sell 10,000 jerseys the day of. Like I know people like shout out ATW who are like. I'm ordering a Steelers Peyton Wilson jersey
right now.
Like state fans are like rooting for the Steelers now, even though Russell Wilson's on the Steelers. I mean, it's like
right.
It was a. I know you shouldn't draft for PR, but Peyton Wilson's a really good player, and the combination of need, like I guess you could argue like some like level of need. The public relations aspect of it, like make the Panthers popular again, right?
Wait a second.
Make Panthers MPPA, yeah, they're going to get an MPPA, big red hat, big teal hat.
So
MPPA.
Here's because you mentioned you're only going to get one contract out of him. I talked about this yesterday. I mean, isn't that describing 75% of NFL players? You're only going to get one contract out of them. Few players get the second contract with that team. So few. I don't know.
If you're giving a running back a second contract, you're probably doing something wrong in the like over the long haul. I mean, Christian McCaffrey may be like the one exception to that rule, and the Panthers gave him a contract, and the issue was they run him into the ground with Ron Rivera in 2019, and ultimately traded him, and it looks so stupid right now. I mean, like most running backs. I mean, look at the guys who just hit. And this is it's interesting how the wide receiver free agency market and the running back free agency market sort of went hand in hand with the draft. How it's like really bad draft class, and then you had Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, all these different guys on the market. I mean, it's because Tony Pollard, like nobody wants to give a bunch of running backs a bunch of like second contracts. It's just bad business.
It's terrible business. Isn't it interesting how there is a higher value on NFL or is it a higher value on NFL draft picks than there is on the player as opposed to like every other league. Right?
I mean, it's outrageous. I mean, NFL draft picks, particularly with the way that it was the 2011 CBA where it all changed with the draft slots. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like the costs and ironically, not to get into the weeds on the CBA, but the original idea was all this money is going to these draft picks because you negotiate the deal and it goes up every year, and it's bad business for it's really cutting out the middle class of NFL veterans who felt like they deserve some of that money and not these rookies who are just coming in unproven,
Right.
plus like Jamarcus Russell. And the irony is that once that new salary structure got in place, teams are like, nah, we can save a ton of money by using these. It's like a cheaper wage scale.
There's no question about it. Real quick, are we? How long until we're at 18 games in an NFL regular season? CBA says can't happen until after the
2030?
CBA runs out.
Yeah, 2030 is when the CBA is up because the last one was 2020. Technically, the CBA said they couldn't go to 17, and the owners and Roger Goodell just did it and told the union to bleep off. I actually think 18 is a better answer than 17, but only because, and it shouldn't be that hard of a sell, honestly, because once you get to 18, like right now, you still only have one bye week for 17 games, which is just a disaster. When you go to 18, you build in a second bye week, and you also push back the season a week, which means the Super Bowl of President's Day, which means like at least some portion of the country will get they could have the Super Bowl Sunday will be a literal long weekend where you can you don't have to worry about everybody limping into work on Monday. So I don't know. I think there are aspects of it that make sense from an 18-game schedule, but they'll probably. What are we, 2024 now?
Yeah, none of those, by the way, are good from a player standpoint.
Well, the second bye week is.
Nah. We're going to shorten. I promise the data over the long haul will show that careers get shorter when we play 18-game seasons.
Yeah, but I'm saying 17 games single bye versus 18 games double.
Oh,
bye.
sure.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think that you're already once they went to 17. By the way, screw 17 games. It's just such a pain in the butt.
16 games single bye is fine. Actually,
right. I'm saying 17 games is annoying because they're going to go to 17 and then eventually go to 18. So there's going to be this dumb period of stats where it's 5 years where teams went 11-6 or something stupid. And just make it even. It drives me nuts. Also,
even would be better.
Every seasonal record is going to be broken by 17-game guys and then broken again by 18-game guys.
18 games is better than 17, but they're both horrible for the players as opposed to just 16 games. And they should have just stuck an extra bye week there to lengthen the season anyway, and everybody would have been fine with it.
I'm not sure if you know how money works.
I know I do. I understand. The NFL has done this because it means more money to them, even though it doesn't mean more money really to players, and it shortens their careers.
They're playing a game on Christmas on a Wednesday.
Yep, exactly.
three games or 2 games on Christmas on a Wednesday.
Yep.
They don't care.
They don't. You're right. 100%. Will Brinson, you're the best, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you, bye.
You got it. Will Brinson, CBSSports.com, senior NFL writer, Pick Six podcast moderator. When we come back, we limber up and we place bets. I'm going 3 for 3 today. Guaranteed it.
Put it out there.
Guarantee it.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Joe. You come here often?
Yeah, just waiting for my pills. High blood pressure and cholesterol.
Oh, that'll cost you.
I can afford it. I have NC Medicaid.
They cover prescriptions?
Yep. Doctor's visits, screenings, emergency care at low or no cost.
I tried to get it before, but I made too much.
Try again. You can earn more and still get NC Medicaid. Just go to the website.
I'm going to do that.
NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games features 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Our public power providers in North Carolina keep the power on 99.9% of the time. That averages out to be less than 1 hour a year without power. Public power line workers who work day and night, rain or shine, are key to that unbeaten reliability. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Hi, Darcy the cow here for Black Cow, the mature manure. Get a better looking lawn with Black Cow. Apply to your lawn as top dressing and get 10 times more nutrients than topsoil. Black Cow will feed your lawn, your flower beds, and vegetable gardens for up to 3 months. Oh yeah, everything grows better with sun, water, and Black Cow.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Need money for college? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, then Next NC Scholarship could pay for more than half, if not all of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. And it doesn't have to be repaid. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university and possibly more. Get all the details about the new Next NC Scholarship and see how simple it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org. Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It is playoff time in the NBA and the NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your home to wager on any game you want. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook, and right now new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you make your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. Anything you want to wager on, slap shots, home runs, slam dunks, all there. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, when you make your first $5 wager. Visit FanDuel.com, promo code AGS to get started. I can't make it any easier. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This is Adam Gold.
He takes the hat. It was like somebody who works there was wearing a baseball cap. Takes it off the kid's head and puts it on the hostess station. Just takes the hat off this guy and puts it down.
Excuse you?
Like that's exactly what I went. I'm like, excuse me?
Right.
Well, what are you doing?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's here. Oh, so it's for tonight, huh?
Yeah, we'll be
Very
starting
nice.
something.
Very nice. Yeah, one of Michael's best.
I know.
Very nice.
I love
All right.
Michael.
We have Game 5 tonight. We'll talk more about that coming up in a little bit. We'll also talk about NHL officiating with former on-ice official Tim Peel coming up in about 25 minutes. We're going to place bets in a couple. First, it's time to stretch.
Oh, yes. It's always good to stretch, and especially because some of the stuff I've been reading, we might all need to stretch. So kicking things off, Tuesdays, apparently the best day to be productive out of the whole week. I had no idea. I don't know if you need Monday as a warm-up.
Really?
But somebody who studies astrology, if you believe in the moon and the stars and all that good stuff, they wrote a big article saying that the work week should actually start on Tuesday because that's the most productive day. So they do all this like moon talk. They say a lunar influence. Monday is really a better day to reflect, record, and set the tone for the days to come.
Okay.
And that Tuesdays are ruled by Mars, and they supposedly are good days to have bold action and direct confrontation, even though confrontation? What? Healthy competition, they say, is great on Tuesdays. So who would have thunk it? I had no idea. Maybe that explains a lot. I don't know. I just kind of thought maybe you needed Monday to like warm up or something, because no one likes Mondays.
We're just dragging on Mondays.
I know. The caffeine never kicks in. It's just the dog doesn't want to go out because, it's just all, all the stuff. So, yeah, today should be a productive day. Maybe a Canes win day. Now, this is not so productive. I don't know what we're doing here or who thought of this, but KFC decided to come out with a barbecue perfume.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah.
I did not expect to hear the word perfume.
I know.
Yeah, barbecue, all of this stuff sounds normal to me.
Right.
With KFC.
KFC, barbecue.
And you get perfume, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, what are we doing here? It's a limited edition.
Of course
it is. And they say it will leave you and the people around you with a, quote, tipsy of hunger. Whatever that means. I don't know. It's called Number 11 Eau de Barbecue. And it promises to, quote, bring a classic barbecue experience with a smoky wood smell and charcoal notes.
I really have nothing to say to that.
I know.
I really don't.
It's starting in Europe. So
well,
the Europeans can start this first.
You can. Have at it.
Yeah, there's smells coming from Europe. So
just have at it.
We'll see. We'll see about that. And then, last but not least, so the sound of traffic. I mean, I know traffic. I feel like traffic is going to kill me, but the sound of traffic can apparently do that. Researchers from the University of Pennsylvania have worked with experts in Europe, probably smell like barbecue, and that they say the sounds of traffic affect your health because of the horns, engine, significant stress, all leads to heart disease, strokes, and other long-term issues. And it may not even be when you're commuting. If you live in an area where there's lots of noise at night from traffic, that can apparently cause you some problems too.
I hear more coyotes than I hear cars.
Same. Lots of bugs. Lots of weird bug noise.
Yeah.
You don't think they're bugs because they're loud, but it's bugs.
Cicadas.
So, yeah, we get ready for that. They're coming too. So, you know what else is coming? Good bets.
Place your bets.
I'm going to sweep the whole night.
Yes.
$100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can open. I owe you.
These are all playable too. Go ahead. Let's do it.
All right. So first up, Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Bruins. Why not give me Brad Marchand, Ratman, plus 210 as an anytime goal scorer?
That's amazing that it's plus 210. He's been awesome in this series.
Exactly.
I was going to do something with Boston. I'm just going to fold all the other NHL games into one. Boston wraps up the series. Winnipeg stays alive, as does Nashville tonight. Parlay those three winners plus 565.
Okay. Well, going up towards Winnipeg, Colorado Avalanche and the Jets. Give me Mikko Rantanen anytime goal scorer because for some reason he's still plus money and he's been doing great in the playoffs. Plus 140.
All right. To the NBA. Knicks eliminate the Sixers. Orlando at least keeps it close. I think they can win in Cleveland, but give me Orlando plus 5. And Milwaukee will, with no players left, Milwaukee will beat Indiana tonight and keep that series alive heading back to Indianapolis plus 680.
Oh, nice. Okay, this one's kind of rolling the dice. I'm staying away from McCain's bet because I don't want to jinx them. So I'm going to do Nashville Preds and the Canucks, or Canucks. I think Ryan O'Reilly, because this has been a little frisky series here. Anytime goal scorer, he's plus 260.
Yep, there you go. All right, I'm going to save my Canes bet, even though I've already made two. This is not the last one, because I mentioned Champions League. It's one of the great matchups, Bayern and Real. They're playing this game in Munich. If Bayern wins, Harry Kane's going to score. So Bayern plus a Harry Kane anytime goal gives you plus 225. Good value for Bayern Munich at home.
Yeah.
And you ready for the Canes pick?
Oh, yes.
All right. I'm going to give you everything tonight. Canes win. We're going to give a goal and a half.
I like it.
Right? Over 5.5. The empty net goal by Andrei Svechnikov makes it 4-2, and we walk right to the window.
Nice.
Plus 785.
But no OT.
No
this
OT.
is in regulation.
Regulation, 4-2 win. Andrei scores the empty net goal. Boom! We go to round 2, and you get plus 785 for your troubles.
I hope so.
Did I sell that to enough?
Hopefully to enough.
I've gotten two legs of this right almost all the time.
No, it's always that one.
That's why they get you. That's where they get you. Wall of Sound next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold from my man, Coach Pete DeRuta, Capital Financial Advisory Group. We all need an uncle or a cousin in the business. In this case, you've got a coach, a guy who can help you get to retirement with everything you need to live the life you want. Coach Pete DeRuta, he's got a game plan that will totally customize your finances for your retirement, and all you've got to do is call 888-843-0013 or text Adam to 600-700 to get that total customized retirement plan for you for free. Other people are paying $1,000 for this, and it's worth it at $1,000 for total freedom in retirement. But why not get it for free if you can? Call 888-843-0013 or text Adam to 600-700. Coach Pete DeRuta and his merry band of fiduciaries over at Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex are legally obligated to do right by you, to consider your needs above theirs. In other words, there's no commission. Capital Financial Advisory Group. Plan for retirement with the expert, Coach Pete DeRuta. Text Adam to 600-700 today.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at $105, and if you get your air ducts cleaned, they'll clean your dryer vent for free. Visit ZeroResNC.com and book your appointment today.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store, and springtime can bring a new season of change and growth. There are so many things to look forward to, whether it's walking your dog, taking a stroll through the park with a loved one, or tackling a new do-it-yourself project. It can be just energizing to get outside. We are once again looking forward to summer camps, family reunions, and planning vacations. Getting back into activities such as these can be difficult, though, if you suffer from pain in your feet, knees, hips, or lower back. Good Feet Arch Supports can be the solution you need to get the most out of your springtime activities. As we head into this season of possibilities, don't let foot pain hold you back. Make this spring the start of a new season in your life at the Good Feet Store. Come in today for your free fitting and test walk. The Good Feet Store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today or just stop by. I'm Jonathan Cotton, and we look forward to seeing you at the Good Feet Store.
April is here, and if your windows won't open for fresh air or seal tight to keep out pollen and bugs, then talk to Window Nation right now. For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you could save. Plus, you could save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. With proven quality, you'll get affordable windows that meet or beat the national brands. Don't miss out. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
He scores! WCMC Holly Springs. The Canes light the lamp. Here, 99.9 The Fan.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Dribbles left toward the basket, pulls up, 10-footer good. Lakers have no timeouts. Here's the season. LeBron to Prince. No good. Season over. Lakers lose the final. Nuggets 108. Lakers 106. Series over. Game over. Nuggets on to the second round, and the Lakers, who led in every game at halftime, lose this series in 5 games.
Yes, the Lakers are done. LeBron did mention that injuries took their toll this year. Said the last time they were whole as a team, they won the NBA's version of the FA Cup. Remember that in-season tournament, which I dig the idea. I know it's getting a lot of pushback. People are insisting that nobody cares. And in year one, I would expect people to react that way. But if the NBA sticks with it, I'm serious, if they stick with it, people will eventually care about it because it will be recognized as a trophy. It'll be recognized as something, as an accomplishment. And it's okay. It's all right to be a little bit different. I've talked to Rod Brindamore about the possibility of doing something like that in the NHL. He hates it. I get it. It's very different. I'm just saying that it's not additional. It's something that happens within the course of the early part of the season. It may one time become a really big deal, in which case, maybe they'll create some separation for it. But really, they're just trying to sell another part of the television package. And what did I see? Was it Amazon Prime has now bought into the NBA TV package?
Oh.
There's going to be a set-aside number of games for them exclusively during the year. There will be maybe even a singular playoff series devoted to Amazon Prime. So, look, I'm on board for trying new stuff.
Yeah.
I am. I'm on board for expanding playoffs and trying new things even within the regular season. I think all that stuff is okay. I don't want to put any undue strain on the players. I think what happened in the NBA, I think, was that it might have added 2 games to the 2 games to the 2 teams that played for the title, and 1 game each for the teams that lost in the semifinals. I think that's all it created. Not super ideal. And in hockey, when the game is that much more physical, it might be a little bit more problematic. But I think it's doable. I really do. And I would be in favor of shortening the regular seasons for both sports anyway by a few games to compensate. I would. I think that's okay. Anything new I think, shouldn't be viewed as automatically bad. Let's get to the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's have some fun right off the bat with the Wall of Sound. Our new favorite, Xavier Liggett, the wide receiver out of South Carolina, to the Carolina Panthers. All right, so very popular question. Where were you when you got the call that the Panthers were drafting you at the end of round 1?
I just want to know, can you take me through getting that call last night?
Oh, man, well, I had just left from the bathroom. And as I was walking back to the table, Dan Morgan called me.
Well, thank goodness you got the bathroom break out of the way first.
Oh, yes. So I was walking back to the table. He called me. He's like, hey, how you feel about us trading up to come get you? I say, man, let's do it.
I love him.
Just amazing.
We didn't need captions for that one, though.
No,
I understood that.
I'm already there. I'm already there. I'm already with him. I've already gone through the whole process. Yeah, that's tremendous.
So great.
That is absolutely tremendous. All right, Dave Canales, the head coach, on his new running back, Jonathan Brooks.
Versatility, first and foremost. Our system calls for a back that can be used, of course, just in a traditional way, hand it to him. Then how can we get this player in space, being able to get him in perimeter screens, check downs. We got a really cool empty package where we use the backs, flex them out to get matchups, things like that. He's a bigger back. He's got range. There's so much that he brings from a versatility standpoint. That's probably the biggest thing that stood out. And then just vision, patience, contact balance, acceleration. Like, he's got it all. He's the best back in this class, and we were so fired up to just be able to bring him in and create that competition that Dan talked about.
Contact balance. I like that phrase. That's my new. I like that phrase.
Okay.
Here's more of Dave Canales on really creating something around the quarterback.
Absolutely. I feel like we really took advantage of some of those spots to, bring a bunch of talent, into our roster. Specifically talking about the offense. Just looking positionally. With a running back, a receiver, and a tight end. Skill wise, just really bringing a little bit of juice there. To really challenge that whole group and elevate the offense. So I'm really excited about what we did there.
All right, now to Dan Morgan, the general manager. Will and I talked about it briefly. The trade out of 39 back to what was number 52, which with the Rams, which got you into the second round next year. Remember, they didn't have a second round pick next year. They have their first back, and by the way, I saw a mock draft that has Carolina picking number 1.
Oh, boy.
Yay.
Here we go. That's to look forward
right?
to.
But now they get their second round pick because that was also sent to Chicago in the Bryce Young deal. So that trade got them back into the second round. That was a big deal.
I didn't come in saying we got to get that 2 back. When it presented itself, we thought it was a really good opportunity. Hey, we can get that 2 back. And it was good timing, I would say. So we felt good about that. We were really happy about that and acquiring that pick.
I think it's great that they got the second from the Rams, and maybe the Rams will stink, and there's every chance that happens. The NFL is weird, so maybe the Rams that'll end up being a top 10 second round pick. And Carolina could have ultimately, let's just say they have 3 picks in the top 40. That would be really good for a team that is continually trying to build out their roster. Still wish they had taken a cornerback this year, but it is the whole roster is a work in progress. Now to the ice, Game 5 tonight. Carolina and the Islanders just after 7:30 opening faceoff, and Rod said that Saturday is wake-up call might be too strong, but basically.
It's every game. You watch every game in the playoffs. It comes down to one play here or there. You get it or you don't. We could be easily talking about, KK shot the one off the goalie's knob. That goes in net. We're not even having this conversation. When they can pull up 3 or 4 in all their games, and it could be a totally different series as far as where the wins were. So it always comes down to one play here or there. It's just a matter of you pushing to find those more opportunities to get those plays.
Okay, so I now know the play that Rod is talking about. Kokanami, it looked like he had 60% of the net to shoot out at and missed. I thought it was wide. As it turned out, it went off the butt end of who is it? Semyon Varlamov's stick. So yeah, that's kind of unlucky. That's one that obviously the Hurricanes would have given them a 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
In the first period, that would have been, absolutely gargantuan. All right, to the star of stars, and I think Sebastian Aho will be great today on finding another level.
Like I said, I don't really want to think too much ahead of us. You try to get to all you think about is the start of the next game, right? And how to prepare for that. And yeah, we are aware that could have. Obviously, we have another level and we need to get to that. But it's just trying to win hockey games. And that's the whole deal out of here. It's just I don't know. Tomorrow we come in and we try to do our best, and that's just the mindset.
That is the mindset. And clinching on home ice, what is that?
Yeah, it's a big opportunity. Obviously, want to play a good hockey game. Obviously, we just we don't think anything but winning one hockey game, right? And starts with a good start. Starts with the just come in and have that, killer instinct, and just play our game.
Let's end it with handshakes.
Yes, please.
Handshakes at the end.
Yes.
We had handshakes in Game 5 against the Devils a year ago. Let's do it against the Islanders. We didn't get it last year against the Islanders. We had to do handshakes up in Elmont, New York. Let's do it here.
I wish we had something cool to throw out on the ice. Like, Florida Panthers, they got rats, whatever that means. I don't want any fish, but, we should have something fun to throw out.
Pork. Barbecue.
Right, yeah.
Throw out
pork chops.
Would you throw out Eastern or Western? You'd do Eastern.
Yeah, because it's less messy.
Yeah, it's vinegar based, a little,
you don't
little
want
bit more runny.
tomato sauce on you. No.
You certainly don't want mustard.
No.
All right, Tim Peel, former NHL on-ice officials. We will talk goaltender interference and other matters of the NHL heart next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Canes fans, game on.
Let's go, Canes!
Let's go, Canes!
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Let's go, Hurricanes!
Go, Canes!
Let's go,
Canes! Gensel with a second try. Swayman can't see it. They score! Rebound score. Seth Jarvis. What a save by Anderson.
Ride with us for every heart-stopping game. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, with a great offer for you right now. If you sign up and you make your first $5 wager, win or lose, we're going to give you $200 in bonus bets. That's right. So if you decided that Andrei Svechnikov is due and at plus 280 is going to be an anytime goal scorer, and he doesn't score, you still get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. FanDuel.com, promo code AdamGold. FanDuel.com, promo code AdamGold. And by the way, the Hurricanes are minus 250 to win. That's crazy. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bow time.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers, the people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Adam Gold.
There are people out there that just, you must draft a quarterback.
Yeah, why you don't want a quarterback?
Exactly. What is wrong with you? Oh, you don't want apple pie?
Right.
Come on.
A la mode? Oh, maybe I like brownies, okay?
I don't want it there.
The temptation.
Yeah, I don't need it. Because I can convince myself, apple's healthy.
Right.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. A double-barreled segment here in that we're going to talk hockey, but since former NHL on-ice referee Tim Peel is our guest, we're going to talk a little bit about refereeing, and I have questions at Tim C. Peel 20, Snipes and Stripes, the podcast. Sir, second time. We had so much fun the last time. I was fighting the urge to get back to you right away. How you doing?
I'm great, Adam. I knew everybody in North Carolina was nice, but Victoria takes the cake. She might be one of the nicest people I've ever spoken to. But not all the fans were always nice to me in Raleigh. Sometimes they booed me, but I knew they really liked me.
They do. They love Victoria. And I think they love you too. I thank you very much for coming back. I do want to ask you a couple of officiating things before we get to some actual hockey matters. And one is, and I don't know if you watched it or not last night. I watched Tampa and Florida, and there were two goals that were one goal disallowed and one goal that was waved off. That upon review they determined that the call was correct. I saw both of them as they should have been goals, and I think it's such a judgment call that it's almost hard to get in the mind of why decisions are made. So let's start with the first one, which it looked to me like Gustav Forsling was pulling Anthony Duclair, trying to pull him away from Sergei Bobrovsky, and then the reverse momentum carried him into Bobrovsky, but he didn't really have a chance on the goal anyway. I didn't understand why that goal was disallowed. Can you walk me through that situation?
Well, both situations, unfortunately, for John Cooper and the Tampa Bay Lightning went against them last night. And I tend to agree with you. I'm going to agree with you on 50% of everything you said, and that is the first goal with Duclair. I felt that should have counted. I agree with you 100% on that. I'm still confused by the outcome, and the officials make the call on the ice, but then they confer with the situation room in Toronto, and at the end of the day, the situation room has the final say. And they have a tremendous amount of experience in there with Chris King and Colin Campbell and other supervisors. So I trust their judgment. Unfortunately, for Tampa, the second goal, I was in complete agreement with. I had people saying, on social media that Nikola pushed Cirelli into the net, into the crease. He didn't push him into. I've watched it a half a dozen times. He didn't push him into the crease at all. Cirelli spun off him, trying to get room. And when he spun off him, his momentum carried him in the crease. It was only a foot or two, but it was enough to interfere with Bobrovsky. So I don't have a problem at all with that call. I completely agree with that call, and I think that's a good standard. That if they're going to maintain that standard for the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs, I think that's a good standard. The first one, though, I didn't agree with. Goaltender interference is a really tough call, and there is a lot of gray area. And people will say, "Well, why is there a lot of gray area?" Well, it's not black and white. And Adam, for our listeners, back in '99 when Dallas won the Cup, Brett Hull's foot was in the crease. Now, to the letter of the law, that year they instituted a rule. They wanted to make it black and white, so they instituted a rule that if your foot, your toe, your pinky toe, your big toe was in the crease, it was no goal. Well, we took a lot of goals away that were good hockey goals. And so they tried to make it black and white, and that became a complete debacle. Right. And so there is a lot of judgment there, unfortunately, and it's just it gives us something to talk about every year in the playoffs, because goaltender interference is certainly always a hot topic.
It is. It is certainly entered into the equation for the Hurricanes. I want to push back one thing on the second goal, the one that was disallowed on the ice. And I don't remember who the on-ice official was, but he waved it off emphatically right away, so he had conviction in the call.
Yep. Eric Furlot.
Right, and I said it at the time that this was not a case where Mikkola forced Cirelli into Bobrovsky. Cirelli was in the crease of his own volition.
Correct.
But Bobrovsky completely... John Cooper was so right last night. Bobrovsky quit on the play, threw his stick to the ice. That stick was not knocked out of his hand, so he went so far as to try and sell it, to the point where, like in soccer, he would have gotten a yellow card for flopping, and in basketball, he might have gotten a technical foul for flopping. He completely sold it. That, to me, is the problem with that, is that the goaltender's getting the benefit of the doubt where they might not otherwise, where they shouldn't otherwise get it.
Well, and this is always a hot topic, because and we may see it tonight with Anderson in net for the Hurricanes. You know, the goaltending at this time of year, we see it with Swayman in Boston. We see it with Anderson so far, and with Carolina. You know, I guarantee you, John Cooper told his players before the game, don't make it, you know, I can guarantee you he didn't say, hey, go interfere with the goaltender.
Right.
But what he would say, and what any good coach would say, would be, let's make things difficult. We got to get traffic to the net. We got to get bodies in front of them. And unfortunately, when you do that, you run the risk of crossing that line. And with refereeing, you know, this would happen a lot. You know, Corey Perry was the master of, the whistle would blow and he'd accidentally fall on the goaltender. And as a referee, you've got to communicate with that player and say, hey, you're on the line right now. Like, you know, at the next whistle, listen, I've warned you 2 or 3 times. You're bumping into Anderson. You may get a penalty. And then you go over to the coach and say, hey, I've warned him. I've warned your guy 2 or 3 times. The next time he goes near the goalie, I'm going to call it. And sometimes you get called for a play that maybe wasn't as egregious as it was earlier, but it kind of adds up over time.
Tim Peel at Tim C. Peel 20 on Twitter. Snipes and Stripes podcast is joining us here. We're going to get to tonight's hockey game in a second. I have a question though about what could make everybody's life a lot more easy. We've had some in the last handful of regular season Hurricanes games. We've had puck. Did the puck fully cross the goal line or not? One on the Hurricanes game. One it was a game. It might have been Winnipeg and Colorado from earlier in the series, right? Where why can't the league like in soccer, again, to bring up soccer for a second time, they can draw lines, laser lines. Tennis can determine a 135-mile-an-hour serve moving exactly if the ball brushed the back of the service line or not to be a good serve or a fault, if you will. Why can't the NHL have that and just prove to everybody, give it to both broadcasts or multiple broadcasts, 5 sometimes, so everybody sees the proof rather than wait till the next day or, 20 minutes later? Why can't the NHL just say, yep, there it is. Definitively, this is the answer. This is why it was a good goal or not a good goal.
Well, that's a great question, a great point of view when you're comparing it to other sports. But now we're getting into technology. And if you know anything about me, Adam, my son that's 12 years old has to run my TV for me downstairs in the basement. Okay. So when it comes to technology, I agree with you. You would think I know exactly what you mean when you see it in tennis and in other sports. I don't know why we haven't been able to adopt that at the NHL level. You would think that we would be able to, because sometimes, that goal in Winnipeg the other night, it looked like it was over from the angles they had and so on. But if we had the technology to be able to show the viewership rate have it be instantaneous, I think that'd be beneficial for everybody.
And if like a laser on the back of the goal line, so we know definitively that the puck
Right.
crossed it. All right, let me get to two hockey questions because you've been on the ice for as many years as you have, and I know you have opinions on what the differences are in series. Does Boston Toronto come down to as much about the Stars for Boston outplaying the Stars for Toronto, or has this been a bench problem in terms of the guy behind it, Jim Montgomery versus Sheldon Keefe?
You know what I said before the series? It's a great point you brought up. I said before the series that Jim Montgomery would outcoach Sheldon Keefe. And, for example, Sheldon Keefe, late in the game, it's a 3-1 game the other night. They're at home. They need 2 goals. There's less than 3 minutes to go, and he puts out Ryan Reeves with less than 3 minutes to go. And I'm watching that game, and that just absolutely made no sense. And no disrespect to Ryan Reeves, I guess I am disrespecting him, but I don't even think he should be in the lineup,
right?
Because he's not fast enough to play at this level in the playoffs. And so I think he is being out-coached, and I think he's doing a poor job managing his bench. And I honestly think that Boston will finish them off tonight, and I think that Sheldon Keefe will no longer be the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they'll have a new coach before the start of next season. And as far as the Stars, I've been very critical of Austin Matthews, great regular season player. Jeremy Roenick, my partner on Snipes and Stripes, he says Austin Matthews may go down as the most prolific goal scorer, U.S.-born goal scorer ever, and that may be very, very true. But I don't see the fire in his belly that I see when I see a Brad Marchand. And people will criticize Marchand, but they'd love to have him on their team. Brad Marchand is going to cross-check you in the face. He's going to spear you in the throat. He may try to kill you as he's getting to the net to score a goal, but that is what he knows what it takes to win in the playoffs. Mitch Marner doesn't have what it takes right now. Maybe he will get that. Maybe he will in a couple of years. I don't know. But right now, they don't have the makeup on that team to get them to the next level, and I think Boston will finish them off tonight.
Just to be clear, cross-checking somebody in the face or spearing somebody in the throat or killing them, those would all be penalties, right?
Well, yes, in the regular season, in the playoffs. But no, absolutely. But I'm just trying to explain to people that is the intensity that Brad Marchand has. That is what he is willing to do, whatever it takes, because they won one cup since he's been there. They lost to the Blues in 2019. So it's been 5 years since they've been back playing for the Stanley Cup. He knows how difficult it is to win a Stanley Cup, as does Rod Brind'Amour and the Carolina Hurricanes. They won. What year was that? 2006, maybe?
Yep.
6. Yeah, exactly. And 18 years later, maybe they're in a position where they can make a good run because they certainly have a good team.
Yeah, no question about it. Final question: I know you can't officiate different players differently, but Matt Rempe, when you go into a game and Matt Rempe is in it, because he don't play a lot, which tells me everything. But he doesn't play a lot. He's played under 6 minutes in most games. What do you guys talk about with regards to a player like that?
Your antennas go up. You have to be aware every time. It's kind of similar to when Tom Wilson was in his heyday and would take multiple suspensions throughout the year. And every time he was on the ice, you had to be aware of where he was, because players like that, there are some players that kind of finish their checks, but they'll skate away as the puck's being passed. Rempe and guys like Tom Wilson, it could be 1,001, 1,002. It could be late, so you've got to keep your eyes on them at all times, and also everybody else on the ice. But when players like that come on the ice, you don't go into a game with any preconceived notions, but you certainly, as the officiating crew, you'll sit there in the dressing room or at your pregame lunch and you'll go through the lineup and say, hey, we've got to be aware when this guy's on the ice, this guy's on the ice, this guy likes to crash the crease, this guy likes to hit late, all those sorts of things. So our guys will do their homework before each game to make sure they've got a good understanding of the personnel on the ice.
Snipes and Stripes, the podcast. Tim Peel, former NHL on ice official, and Jeremy Roenick. That's entertaining. I appreciate your time. I'm gonna call you again if that's okay.
Absolutely, Adam. I appreciate it, and good luck tonight. I'll be watching.
Thank you very much, Tim Peel, former NHL on ice official at Tim C Peel 20. I'm glad we got one. I got one of them right. I still insist I was right about the other one, but that's all right. I don't have to be.
Yeah.
It is there. The thing about goaltender interference is that there's no way to make it black and white. There's just no way. But it does appear that it is a mood. It's just a mood. And again, and I don't recall Tim disagreeing with me about it. Sergei Bobrovsky just flops like a bass on the dock.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an absolute, as John Cooper said in his postgame, he quit on the play.
Mm-hmm.
He felt a little bit of a nudge and just quit on the play.
Threw a stick down.
Right? Boom. I don't, whatever.
That means I quit.
That's it. That's it. And to me, that's got to be something right there. Because we have embellishing, right? I mean, that's a rule. If the officials judge that calls are embellished, you can give out a penalty the other way or both ways. Rarely do we see a dive called by itself. We usually see the call and the embellishment, which to me doesn't make a ton of sense. But there has to be something when the goalie absolutely tries to sell it. And that's what Bobrovsky did on the second play. First one should not have been chalked off, but it was. Second one was waved off immediately, and I disagreed with that. But when you go back and you look at it, the thing that must jump out at you is, yeah, Bobrovsky wasn't hit to the point where he had to throw his stick down. He just tried to sell it. All right. We got Game 5 tonight. We'll get into that. And we have some other things to discuss as well. And we'll do that and rewind next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on